So I'm going to start off by using the Ordinary Glycolic Acid. I've been using the Ordinary Glycolic Acid for some time now, and the reason I started using it is because I have a lot of acne scars and hyperpigmentation on my face. Glycolic acid can help address various skin concerns, including uneven skin tones and dark spots. Also, the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles. Glycolic acid helps exfoliate dead skin cells, revealing brighter, more radiant skin underneath. So I just go ahead and I put the glycolic acid on one of those toner pads and I use it all over my face. But for each section, I use different toner pads just so I don't spread the germs of my active pimples. The Ordinary Glycolic Acid is a toner and exfoliator, so you do not need to go do an additional mechanic exfoliation on your face. As we age, our skin's ceramide levels naturally decline, which can lead to dryness, wrinkles, and other signs of aging. By replenishing ceramides, rice ceramides containing products can help to improve skin's elasticity, reduce the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles, and promote a more youthful complexion. I just go ahead and pat the rice ceramide all over my face, and in one of my previous videos I said why I tap my rice ceramide on rather than rubbing it on my face. For primer, I just used e.l.f. Power Grip Primer. It's a sticky gel formula. It locks makeup into place, preps smooths to perfection, while keeping the skin hydrated with long-lasting dewy finish. This is a water-based primer, making it suitable for all skin types and tones. And I like to just rub it on very evenly, so then like all up in the creases, just so then my makeup goes on really smoothly and nicely. so next we're gonna get into makeup. So for foundation, I use the e.l.f. Soft Glam Satan Foundation. It's a medium buildable coverage, long-lasting, water-based, hydrating foundation, and it goes perfectly with my e.l.f. Power Grip Primer. It's like the perfect match together. And for the foundation, I kind of just stick to the bottom half of my face because that's really the part where I don't go any, like I don't put any bronzer or blush or anything. So just for like a little coverage, I just put the foundation on the bottom half on my face down to the neck, if that makes sense. Oh, and a little bit up on my forehead just for that little coverage of like my acne that I have. Oh my god, let me correct myself, guys. So I do put the bronzer and the blush on the bottom of my face, but I just use the foundation as the foundation for that little coverage that we need, just as a base. It's just a base, that's it. So I still do put the bronzer and the blush on the bottom of my hat, on the bottom half of my face. The bronzer going on my jawline and the blush just going just a tiny bit on my chin. That's it. I just like to take a sponge and just tap everywhere just to make sure everything's blended in and everything looks perfectly matched together and there's no like lines or whatever. Everything just matches. If I need more, I put more. If I don't, just continue. Okay, so for bronzer, I use the SheGlam Liquid Bronzer. It's a long-lasting natural finish. You get such a like sun-kissed complexion on your cheekbones, jawlines, nose, and more. I just love the liquid formula. It just like, I don't know, it goes on so perfectly, and it just gives my face that little tint and lifted look that I want. I don't need it, but I want it. It's a super easy, precise application with the built-in sponge applicator. The sponge tip. Natural matte formula melts into my skin without streaking or spotting. I just love it so much. As with the jawline area, you're not going above your jawline. You're not going way below your jawline. You're going right on the bone of your jawline. Oh my god. You want to create the shadow of that nice, contoured, beautiful jawline. That's what you want to create when you're putting a bronzer or a contour on your jawline. And then you want to bring down the color so it doesn't look like you just made like a brown line there. Or like one of those off-shade contoured shades. You don't want it to be on line. You want it to be blended, shaded in, looking like a shadow to contour your jawline and to snatch your double chin. That's what you want. You don't want to create your double chin. You don't want to make it look like a big brown spot on your jaw or on your double chin. When you're doing it, do it properly and do some research if you don't know how to do it. There's so much things to like go and learn on now. Like there's so much influencers on TikTok teaching you to do so many things. Like, come on. See, I mean, you can really see the difference, like 100%. See how I created that little shadow? There you go. that's how you do it. This is a new nose contour technique that I seen on TikTok. I did not do a good job at it, but I tried my best. So yeah, I mean, it looked pretty good, but yeah, I didn't do it how the person did it. So yeah. Now it's time to go in with some color. Yay! Okay, so for blush, I used the She Glam liquid blush. I meant to say She Glam. Applying a liquid blush is an easy way to give your cheeks a pretty pop of color that lifts the look of your complexion. Okay, so just like the bronzer, the She Glam liquid blush is a matte finish hydrating formula. It melts into my skin without streaking or spotting. I also love this liquid blush. Oh my god, and the color, whew. I like to put the liquid blush on my nose just for a little tiny pop of color, and also on my chin just for a little more natural effect, and it just comes out looking so perfect every time. So afterwards I went in with one of my lip liners just to contour my nose a tiny bit more. I didn't really like the way it looked, but yeah, I just did a tiny 2 lines, and I'm just about to blend it out, and that's it. Before I put on my setting spray, I like to put on my darkest lip liner, just so after when I'm ready to put on some lip gloss, my lips look a tiny bit fuller than it naturally is. Well, not naturally, but like with my natural lip filler or whatever. Okay, so now we're gonna move on to our concealer. I use the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. It is water-based. I had to do a little bit of digging to find that out, because on the site it said water-based, but then on Google it said silicone-based. So I wasn't too sure, and I'm still not sure, but we'll just go with water-based. This concealer is full coverage. It is hydrating. It's a cream concealer. It provides crease resistant with a satin finish. It's great for oily, dry, and combination type skin. And yeah, I love this concealer because I don't like I like a lot of coverage, but I don't like too much coverage, if that makes sense. But this one, it blended out perfectly to my skin because I have normal to dry skin, and I feel like it didn't feel dry throughout the day. It actually felt really weightless, and I loved it. To blend it out, I just like to use my fingers a little bit just to get right in all the creases. So then that way, if I go outside or something and someone's looking at me, they're not able to see any like patchiness or any streaks or anything like that. So yeah, that's the reason why I use my fingers a lot too, instead of like a powder puff or a blending beauty sponge. So with concealer, I do underneath my eyes. I go right in between my eyebrows on my forehead. I do my upper lip and my chin. And that's... I like to let this concealer sit for a little bit before I completely blend it out. But when I do completely blend it out, I go over it with 2 sponges. And yeah. And then for setting spray, I always put setting spray in between my 2 layers of makeup. I use the Milani setting spray Make It Last Original. It delivers just the right dose of dewy to your complexion with a cooling, refreshing feeling while locking in your makeup for up to 16 hours without creasing, smudging, or fading, with a long-lasting wear. And I love it. Okay, so this is the first layer of makeup. This is what I consider my base. Before moving on to powders, you want to make sure you're not seeing any patchiness, you're not seeing any lines or streaks, you're not seeing any separation of the makeup. If you see any of these things, consider going back and retouching your makeup. If you made it this far without your makeup separating or spotting, you're all good to move on to powders. Be sure not to mix any silicone-based liquid cream products with any water-based products, or else you will see separation in your makeup. Okay, so for the next step, I'm going to use the pressed powder. You can use any powder or setting powder you like, but this specific powder is my favorite. This is the Maybelline New York Fit Me Matte Plus Poreless Pressed Powder for normal to oily skin. You can wear it up to 12 hours. This is a light to medium coverage mattifying without drying out the skin. It blurs my pores and my imperfections. You can use this powder as a powder foundation or tinted setting powder, as I said before, and it is ideal for normal to oily skin. This is a long-lasting powder that leaves a natural poreless looking finish with long-lasting shine control. I mean, like, it's definitely did its job with its micro technology power that absorbs oily to mattifying skin. Because look at, like, the finish of my skin right now. It looks gorgeous. My pores like virtually disappear thanks to the blurring micro powers. Oh my god. Okay, so next I'm gonna go in with an e.l.f. bronzer palette. This mixture of matte finishes is great for contouring, shading, sculpting, and highlighting. Bronzer can be used to give the face a warm, sun-kissed glow and can help contour and define the facial features. Additionally, bronzer can be used to create a natural-looking tan without the harmful effects of the sun exposure. I like to put my bronzer right on my cheekbone, that way my face gets a nice sculpted look, and then I just go ahead and go on my jawline and bring it down to my neck a little bit to create a little shadow. Just to get rid of that little double chin I have. Okay, I know it's a lot, guys, but we're almost done. Now I'm going in with the e.l.f. blush palette. It is lightweight, buildable, weightless. It's a weightless formula, blends and builds pigment with ease. It delivers a matte finish. This blush wears like a second skin. It is 100% weightless. I didn't feel it any time of the day that I was wearing it. And also, it helps minimize shine for a smooth matte finish. I like to brush a little bit of this blush just above my cheekbone, a little bit on my nose, a tiny bit on my eyelids just for that little pop of color. And then I bring whatever's on my blush onto my chin. And yeah, that's it. Okay guys, this is the finished look. Now we're just adding a little bit of eyeliner to define our eye, and just because I like a little wing on my eye. So you're just gonna take your eyeliner, just make a little tiny line. It was supposed to be closer in, but whatever. Practice makes perfect. And then you're gonna take a small smudge brush and just smudge it and make a little tiny wing. Okay, and now we're moving on to the lip liner, just touching up a little bit, then the highlighter. I like to put my highlighter on my nose bridge and just on my cheekbones. And also the tip of my nose, can't forget that part. And now we're finishing off with some setting spray, and that is the last step. Okay guys, this is the finished look. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, see you later.